Welcome once more time. This is episode 16 of season 4. Yeah, very excited to carry on with the season and see where they're going to go next. This whole arc, we had some really cool stuff with Ursa in the last episode, and it seems she's kind of off and away. And we have a bit more information about the author now. He's actually trapped inside the storybook, which is kind of a cool little twist. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to explain that and explore it a bit more, and exactly what that means. Then we have Gold and Cruella and Maleficent still doing all their nasty little business. So yeah, very excited to see what they're going to do, continuing on with this arc. So we have, what, 7 episodes after the season, I think? So yeah, I think we're going to get to a point now where things are going to start escalating, which is always exciting. So very excited to see what's going to come next. Let's get into the next one. Oh! Hello.
All I need to do is touch its horn. I'll get a glimpse of our child's future.
Snow, it's alright. Our baby's gonna be alright. Snow.
Oh, is hers a bit worse? Oh.
What are you doing? I'm your mother. I don't care. We need to get him help.
It's Tao, Marco, what's going on?
Give them this.
Wow, you're getting good.
Practicing. A forgery? Gold and those witches don't know that the page contains the actual door. All they care about is what the door looks like. Hopefully this photo will keep them on their wild goose chase around town.
That's true.
Author or no author, I am not going dark.
Darkness is a funny thing. It creeps up in you.
Yeah.
Hey.
All it takes is one bad day.
But this author, he has the power to change everything.
You just need to be honest.
The villain's happy ending.
Just tell her what you did and tell me.
That's what he can do to him.
Take it, this ties into Maleficent's kid.
Without him, I'm finding out the truth.
And you're literally talking right next to her.
She'll be fine. This is the door we've been looking for.
You think the author is trapped in an illustration, but that would mean...
The sorcerer imprisoned him in the book.
Now's not the time to be jealous.
Why would I be jealous? Though I do know you're partial to men who know the jackets.
He's just a friend.
Of course.
Yeah, he was a boy like 2 days ago.
Well, you remember that video I showed you from the foster home?
With your friend when you were gone?
Lily. Her name was Lily. She was my first and best friend, and I pushed her away forever. And after that,
Forever.
I just...
Okay.
What the hell is
Uh-oh. Oh, of course. Sleeping shit. God
done.
damn dragon lady.
I'm a peddler, but apparently not a very good one.
Don't trust him. He was an asshole on Suits.
Stick to the path until you come upon a cottage. There's a kind old man. He'll help you get where you need to be.
This is the sorcerer's house, right? Or the sorcerer's apprentice's house? Yeah. I thought that's who it was going to be.
I need to know what happened to my child after those 2 heroes got rid of it. I need
Oh.
to know its fate.
They want to turn Emma dark.
I know! And if we're not careful, we're going to help them.
And be honest.
Savior looks a lot less threatening in this state, doesn't she?
Well, anyone would.
I said I wasn't.
I may know a resourceful young man who's wide awake.
Yes! Run, my child.
One who's very protective of the storybook and all its contents.
You keep the fuck away, Grandad.
I think we should destroy the page.
What?
If we
Oh.
destroy it, Gold can never free the author and use him to turn Emma dark.
The author would be trapped inside the book forever. Or I could kill him.
Yeah.
Get her happy.
We don't know that.
The laws of magic would not allow me to simply send your child's darkness away. Another living vessel must absorb it. A vessel that is also a blank slate, unformed in the ways of good and evil,
Maleficent's kid.
just like your...
Aslan? Oh.
No.
Henry Daniel Mills.
You will
His middle
do
name's
as I
Daniel.
say.
Oh.
Awesome,
fake one.
honest.
Who could have guessed?
I'll bring the egg back when we're done with it.
Oopsie. Well, now they really can't bring it back.
Henry, hold on.
What are you doing?
Now.
We don't know what's going to happen. Just let us handle things.
But I found the key.
Henry, it's too dangerous. Go.
You guys are starting to annoy me. This is all your own faults. Just be honest.
My love,
Who I manipulated horribly.
I need to tell you this. I will come back for you if I can.
And if she wants you to. More importantly.
It's a fake.
You spent enough time in the book. You should know the difference.
They tricked me.
When you think I didn't suspect you.
Wait, I can explain.
Oh boy.
I am sending it where it belongs, where it can hurt no one here.
Oh.
What?
No,
You didn't tell us that.
we promised his mother we would give it back.
Terms and conditions.
Afraid.
Whoops. Oh yeah. Ah, that's how they get sent to the other world. That makes sense. Okay, I was wondering.
Your child is now pure of intent and heroic of spirit.
Yay.
Now,
And you can't blame Maleficent for being a bit pissed off. Why didn't Maleficent put more of a fight before as well? She just stood there and then it happened. We're absolutely seeing Maleficent's kid in the real world then. Because that's where Ursula and Cruella ended up. And I have a theory, but I'm going to save it.
She's risked her life for us. We're going to repay her by destroying her chance at a happy ending?
Maybe there's another way.
Don't
No,
do it.
David. My heart was dark. And Regina thought it was because of what I did to her mother. The darkness started long ago.
Ah.
We have to tell Emma the truth.
Yes.
Because heroes
I've been telling you that for fucking weeks.
fight, not what's easy.
There's Snow White. She's Snow White.
We were just trying to protect you.
How'd that go?
Right.
Oh no.
I'm your mother.
I don't care. Ah, it's the Vision. The Vision. You played yourself.
We'll make Regina do my bidding forever.
It's like her parents, the symbol of like good and true love.
Hey.
And if she can't even believe in that now, I think it might be easier for her to slip into darkness. She's going through her rebellious teen phase in her 30s.
And we were brave. But we weren't kind. We were selfish.
Never be cruel and never be cowardly, and if you ever are, always make amends.
Hero. Maybe these unicorns are a good thing. Maybe they're here to remind us how easy it can be to lose our way.
As long as we have each other.
Plus they look
best
cool.
versions of ourselves.
That too.
We can take the long hard path.
Right, you're going to be taking that path again, so buckle up, kids.
I don't care how much it hurts to know its fate. I need this.
I think he understands that after everything with Bay.
What will you name her?
Lily.
Lilith. We want to name her Lily.
Yes! I knew it! That's what I was going to guess. They kept bringing her up again, and they love doing the familial connections.
She's alive. Someone must know her. Art.
Finally guessed a plot twist. It took me 4 seasons.
This isn't just what Regina wanted. This is what Gold wanted too. He was doing it to turn you dark. I'm not worried about it, are you?
Ooh, dear.
There's something you need to know about this author. He wasn't the only one. There have been many authors throughout time.
You could have started with that.
It's a job, not a person. He started to manipulate rather than record. He did something. I don't know exactly what, but something that pushed them over the edge.
How dare you? How dare you force me to do that to that child?
Makes for a better story.
You must be punished.
There we go. Ah, you little shit. Oh. Huh. Okay, another really, really great episode. I've really enjoyed this one. This might be one of my favourites of this whole arc so far, actually. It was great to finally get specific answers about exactly what happened with Snow and Charming alongside Maleficent's kid. I'm so happy I called it with her like being Lily. Unless there's just another Lily walking around, but you know, Emma brought her up earlier in the episode. They had started referencing her again. And Once Upon a Time loves to do that, kind of plant the seeds, and if there's a mysterious character and we don't know who their parents are, it's likely going to be someone we know or have met before. So I did kind of think, well, they've started talking about Lily again. She was in earlier in the season. We didn't know exactly where she came from because she was in kind of a similar position to Emma. And yeah, Maleficent lost a baby and it was in our world. So there we have it. Very similar kind of the situation with, Rumpelstiltskin lost Bay, he's in the other world, and it just so happened to be someone connected to Emma. It's happened again. History repeats itself, so I like that. It kind of makes sense, because it happens a lot in this show. Everyone's related to everyone. So yeah, I like that, and obviously that means we're going to see her again. So that should be cool to see where they actually go with that, and could that be a way of Maleficent kind of, tapping out of the plan in the way Ursula did in the last episode, maybe because she found something again. But I feel like they're going to bring Lily back into things pretty soon, so I'm looking forward to exactly how that's all going to play out and how Emma's going to deal with seeing Lily again. I feel like she has a lot of regret about what happened with Lily, so that could be cool. And, you know, how much of Lily's history is she going to like find out about and stuff like that? Is she going to find out her mother's Maleficent? Could be really interesting. I also really enjoy the continuing themes of like darkness and what that could do to you, and the heroes kind of facing darkness and not seeing themselves as heroes anymore. I'm really interested in that kind of idea. I love how they've been weighing up, you know, does Emma have this potential for darkness? God seems to think he does. Mary Margaret and David seem to think she doesn't, because they seem to ensure that wasn't going to be the case. And that all kind of went into Lily in the end. So, that's going to be really interesting to see how that unfolds. I'm very intrigued by that, alongside the whole author thing, which was a big deal. Got a lot of kind of answers about that. And we met the guy, and it turns out he's that arsehole guy who was in Suits. As soon as he popped up, I was like, oh, you can't trust him. He normally gets cast as bad, like, evil characters. So yeah, we have an author, and I like getting answers about that. You know, it's not just a person, it's a job, it's passed from person to person. This guy seems to have manipulated that, went a bit too far, and that actually kind of forced events to happen as opposed to just wrote down what he witnessed. So kind of a corrupt kind of author, which is an interesting idea, and I feel like he could be another kind of villain thrown into the mix now. Is he going to give Gold what he wants, maybe? Because he seems to have just done a bit of a vanishing act at the end there. So I'm really excited to see what that could entail, but I love that, introducing him a bit earlier in the episode. He kind of set them down that path towards The Apprentice, and everything happened with Maleficent's child because of that, really. And that was clearly him manipulating some events to make a decent story, I suppose. You got to sell those books, you know, you got to sell them. But maybe not in that way. So that's really cool. I'm glad the author has properly got a face and he's been brought into the mix. He's about in the real world and exactly how that's going to kind of play out and get all crazy as well. There's a lot to balance now with like the Lily and the author thing. So I'm really excited about those two particular plot threads, and it seems they're going to take up a big chunk of this season now, which is very exciting. It's not so much we have Gold and Maleficent and Cruella trying to get like their happy endings. They're not really the threat, really. They're kind of second to the plot, I would say. You know, it could have been anyone. I guess in Cruella's position particularly, because we haven't learned a lot about her backstory yet. So I imagine Maleficent got quite a big episode. She's had quite a few big episodes now with her backstory. Ursula got one in the last episode. We're going to get one about Cruella. I just don't know when. So I'm hoping to get that fairly soon, because she really hasn't had a lot to do in this arc so far. She's kind of just been there, and I want to know exactly what she believes her happy ending to be. I think that's going to be really interesting. I kind of wish they started the arc with that, like all these episodes like in a row, kind of filling in those gaps, so we'd be a bit more into their characters and understanding why they really want these goals in a deeper and like a deeper way than just, oh, they want the happy endings. I guess that makes sense. But to have like a more of an insight like with Maleficent and Ursula that we have now, kind of wish we started the arc with that, so we could kind of see a bit more of their side of things. But that's just me and wanting my moral grey areas, which we did get a lot of in this episode, to be fair. But yeah, so far they're kind of, it could have been any villains really, kind of to get the happy endings, because the real threat is Emma's potential for darkness and the author potentially. So I'm looking forward to seeing these plots expanded on even more. So yeah, the twists keep on coming with this show, and I'm really liking how this arc is kind of shaping up to be. My gut reaction so far in terms of the arc this season, it seems to be an unpopular opinion. I think I prefer the Snow Queen arc so far, but I think this arc has had stronger one-off episodes, if that makes sense. I think we've had some really strong episodes in this arc, and obviously I can't judge it fully yet compared to the other arc, because that arc's completed. This one hasn't yet. We still have 6 or 7 episodes still until I can really judge which arc I prefer. But you know, at this point in this arc compared to this point in the Snow Queen arc, I think I actually prefer the Snow Queen stuff, but we've had better episodes in terms of quality and stuff, I think, in this arc, if that makes sense. That's just where I'm kind of at so far. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it anyway, because there's some very interesting ideas going on here. And yeah, seeing Gold and Maleficent do their thing, and Maleficent wanting answers about what happened to her kids, and that spurned on to the reveal, which is all very well and good. I liked how that kind of all worked out. And the fact that Mary Margaret and David, you know, what they did to Maleficent's kid, they didn't know it was an actual child. It was very naive of them to think it was just an egg and like a dragon thing. I think that was very naive of them. But I suppose that could be in character if they're supposed to be always good people and all that. Don't want to see the bad in people or whatever. But still, it's not like, oh, they absolutely made this decision knowing it was a baby they were doing this to. I mean, it was still a baby they were doing it to, because even if it was a baby dragon, it's still a baby. But they didn't know it's like a human child, even though Maleficent's literally always in a human form more than anything else. But still, we did get a bit of CGI dragon, which looked pretty cool. And yeah, did they, like, Maleficent, like, didn't chase after them when they're, like, taking it away. Maybe she was just, like, weak from, you know, she was still a bit exhausted from giving birth or something, laying an egg. That's quite the image. But she's just like, no, wait, stop. Boom, fire. Oh no, I've blocked the exits and I can't even return my baby. That felt a bit weird, that she didn't really put up much of a fight, especially when she was literally a dragon 2 seconds before. Maybe that exhausted all her energy, but she didn't have to turn back. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because they needed this tournament to happen, but that didn't feel quite right to me, that she didn't really put up much of a fight. But still, I like that we got a lot of that backstory filled in, and I can see where Snow White and Charming were coming from with what they were doing to try and ensure that Emma wouldn't be dark and wouldn't grow up to be, you know, a dark person with all this darkness inside of them. I get that. I wasn't on their side in the present day, as Mary Margaret and David. They were kind of pissing me off. Just be fucking honest. But I get it. It's a TV show. Characters can't be honest on a TV show. But I'm glad they did come to the realization they just needed to do what's right, not what's easy. They told Emma. Emma reacted badly. Of course she was going to. But she wouldn't have reacted as badly if you fucking told her earlier. When she, like, suspected you of lying, and then was like, oh, no, it's fine, we're not lying. But I get it's a TV show. Characters can't learn to just tell the fucking truth, I guess. So they were getting on my nerves a bit with that. But at least they finally come clean in this episode. I like that Emma found out. I liked her reaction to it. Hook trying to comfort her about it and everything. And yeah, that's going to be kind of an interesting theme now, this divide between them. There often is a divide, I think, between Emma and her parents, but this is quite something. And this could even spurn and push Emma towards the darkness more, I think, because she kind of lost her faith in these people who're supposed to symbolise good and true love and all that's pure in the world. So the fact that's kind of cracked now for Emma, that's interesting. And I don't know, I feel like they're definitely going to explore this whole dark side of Emma a bit more, especially because, you know, the events of the Snow Queen arc with her powers being pushed and everything and her accidentally hurting David. I feel like the idea of Emma turning into a villain, however briefly, I wouldn't want her to, like, stay as a villain forever, but I feel like they're going to go there. I feel like they're going to do that, and I kind of hope they go for that, because I think it'd be really cool to see Emma be a villain. And I feel like it's kind of all things are pointing towards that direction right now, because, you know, she's lost a big tie there with her parents in this episode. So if we continue to see, like, maybe some divides between her and Hook and her and Henry maybe, I feel like, oh yeah, they're going to make her bad. And I kind of want to see it. As painful as it would be, I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do with that whole arc, and the idea of this darkness inside Emma I really like. So it's cool that this episode really focused on that a lot. And yeah, August is fine, that's good. Can we check back in with the dad now? He was just unconscious, his son's been taken, turned back into an adult, tortured for a few days, whatever, saved, knocked out, passed out, woke up again, gave all this exposition, but we still haven't kind of checked in with Marco. Like, surely he's a bit fucking panicked that his son's missing. And probably has been for a few days at this point. So maybe check back in with him. Seems kind of weird, but maybe we'll get that soon. But nonetheless, I did enjoy the kind of backstory with how things escalated with the baby and Snow White and Charming having these different visions, like a 50-50 chance of what could happen with Emma. Bringing the apprentice back into it was cool. And his role in things, turns out he'd been, like, manipulated by the author to do that. Man, I feel like the author could be like a big bad for this season if they could build him up that way. Maybe he could even overshadow Gold and everyone and be like, ha ha ha, I'm the villain. And maybe Gold and the others are like, okay, we need to help Emma and everyone stop him, because he's not going to give us our happy endings. He's a bit of a dickhead. That's could be where they go with it. But I'm excited. Maybe that's just my bias, because I know I've only ever seen that actor who plays the author in Suits, and he was a right piece of work in that show. So maybe that's all it is, and I'm just like, maybe he's going to be a stand-up guy. He didn't seem to be, though, because he's like a manipulator and, you know, kind of ruined his job, really, and went against what it stood for. So that's cool. Finding out, you know, seeing the events of the author getting trapped, seeing Lily get sent into the other, like, our world, and Cruella and Ursula along with them, explains how they ended up where they were. That was cool to get those answers. And Ursula's 4-second cameo. So yeah, that was cool filling in those gaps, because I did wonder exactly how they got there and why they still had their powers and everything. So we got that. That was cool. And yeah, Regina continuing to be undercover, getting her cover blown. I love the scene where she's like confronting Henry and they could just communicate with their eyes and like give me the fake page. Liked all that. Didn't work out, but it was still nice. But you know, there's only so long they could have dragged out Regina being undercover. Oh, is she going to get found out? Is she not? They've already done that song and dance for a few episodes, so I don't mind that she kind of got found out in this one. Because it means she can kind of hang out with everyone else again now. So it was a cool little thing. We'll see what happens next in terms of that. And yeah, I loved Henry in this episode, as I always do. Shocking. You know, running and hiding with the book, finding the key, working all that out. Being very good under pressure when Cruella and Maleficent were kind of there and he had to think fast and give Regina the fake page. But he's my son. We know this. I love him. And I liked his kind of initiative and his bravery in this episode, as I always do. So yeah, that was all cool. And yeah, just a lot of stuff going on, basically. We've got a lot of answers, a lot of gaps filled in, a lot of revelations, and I'm really, really intrigued to see where they're going to take these different storylines, and particularly Emma's darkness, the potential for that, the author being out and about now, and also Lily being out there too. So yeah, really, really good stuff, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do next with this arc, because this was a really, really strong episode. Definitely one of my favourites of this arc so far. Maybe one of my favourites of the season, even. I really liked it. They just seemed very confident in what they wanted to do with this one, kind of what they wanted to show, which is always good. And yeah, they've been sitting on that whole Lily thing for a long time. You could just tell when they first introduced her. They clearly had plans for it. And I imagine that's really satisfying for them as the writers and everything when they got to write this bit. And like, oh yeah, this is where the big reveal happens. So yeah, really, really excited to see where all those particular story threads are going to go. But what a fantastic episode, and a real escalation of things. And yeah, can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But I feel like we've got some golden stuff coming up with all these big parts of this arc that I'm really intrigued by. So yeah, fantastic, fantastic episode. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.